Hey guys, it's your girl, Jackie from the Financial Literacy Tribe. And if you want this year's Thanksgiving to be a gut buster, but not a budget buster, then stay tuned. We're gonna talk about my top 10 tips for saving this Thanksgiving. Tip number 1, if you want to save the most this Thanksgiving, then my number 1 tip is do not volunteer to host. It can be very expensive because if you're hosting, you're cooking the majority of everything. Even if it's like potluck style, you're probably gonna have to cook the turkey. You're probably gonna have to cook the majority of the food. So it definitely is more economical and more affordable if you do not host and you instead just like bake a treat or bring a bottle of wine from your wine collection and show up at somebody's door like, we're here. That's definitely going to be the more economical choice. So if at all possible, don't host. Obviously, I know that that's not going to be possible or feasible for everybody. Just as an example, I'm hosting this year Thanksgiving for my family. We hosted last year. So obviously that's not a choice for everybody. The rest of the tips are going to be geared toward you if you are hosting Thanksgiving this year. Step number 2 is keep it simple. Do you have to have an organic, free-range turkey that went to boarding school and was only fed caviar and Don Perignon? Do you have to have the bougiest of the bougie in terms of recipes and ingredients this year? Do you have to? No, you do not have to. In fact, I would argue that most people, like what it is that they get excited about the most in terms of Thanksgiving is the more traditional dishes anyway. You know, just a regular old turkey, sweet potato casserole, green bean casserole, mashed potatoes. Like, keep to the classics because they're going to be way less expensive than you sitting there and dishing out major buku dough on super bougie ingredients. So number 2 tip, keep it simple. Tip number 3, stick to your plan, your Thanksgiving meal plan, while at the grocery store. It can be very tempting as you are walking through the grocery store to start picking up things because they're on sale or they have this particular item displayed and yeah, that would be really good and maybe I want to do this and put this in my antipasto. It can be so tempting to just start grabbing, but you have to make sure that you are sticking to your list. Make sure that you are writing your list specifically based off of what it is that you're going to be cooking that day and stick to it. Do not fall prey to the grocery store's tricks. Stick to your plan and stick to your list. Trick number 4 is to make sure that you are buying at the very least the majority of the food items that you need at the inexpensive local grocery store. And I know you know what I'm talking about. Every town has like the bougie grocery store and then it has the grocery store where the stuff is much more inexpensive. I have to be honest with you, I normally prefer out of all the grocery stores in my town to not go to the more inexpensive one because it's usually packed and I get anxiety with very large crowds of people, especially nowadays. So I don't usually go there, but for my Thanksgiving shopping, I definitely will be going there and I will be getting the majority of my groceries from there because dollar for dollar, the savings definitely adds up. So choose to get the bulk of what you need from the more inexpensive local grocery store in your area. Next tip is to make sure that you are taking full advantage of all of the grocery stores' sales, promotions, and deals that they're going to be offering. They know that you have to come to their store to grocery shop, and they are going to be definitely trying to entice you to buy as much as humanly possible. And sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes they have really, really good sales. I know at one of our local grocery stores, if you shop there like regularly and you accumulate a certain amount of points, and you have like the membership card, you get a free turkey. So that's a really, really good deal. We definitely plan on taking advantage of that if we qualify. I have to check to see how many points it is that we have. But definitely feel free to take full advantage of any promotions or sales that your grocery store is giving. My next tip is be sure to take full advantage of the kindness of your guests. Usually, if you have people coming over for the holidays, they're usually going to ask like, oh, do you want me to bring anything? Say yes. Say yes. Have somebody bring the wine. Have somebody bring the beer. Have somebody else bring the mashed potatoes. Feel free to delegate. Do not feel obligated to cook everything because it can get very, very expensive. So if you can definitely delegate some of that work and delegate some of that expense to your guests, they're not going to mind. I would never go over to somebody else's house without having something, without bringing something anyway. So it's like take full advantage of that and just make sure that your guests are bringing things that you plan on serving. My next tip is consider making it yourself. Now, this one is not always going to be an option. Just as an example, hi, my name is Jackie. I am a terrible baker. I will never ever try to bake anything for anyone because I care about them and I want them to survive. So I will not be baking. So if you definitely do not have the skill set or the abilities to cook a certain thing, then don't do it. But if you do, and if you happen to be very skilled in that department, then like make stuff yourself, right? Like you don't have to buy the stuffing in the box. Some people make their stuffing from scratch out of like their stale bread or whatever, and it comes out delicious because it's fresh. So definitely it's usually 9 times out of 10 going to be more inexpensive for you to make stuff from scratch yourself anyway. So you may want to consider doing that as opposed to like buying pre-made gravies or stuffings or whatever. This is a big one for me that I really, really struggle with. Take advantage of the supplies and the table settings and the utensils that you already have. I love to decorate for the holidays, and as a result, I feel like I have this temptation, overwhelming, to sit there and kind of buy new stuff every single year, but it can get really, really expensive, and it's kind of pointless because it's like I don't have a lot of space, and it just makes so much more sense to just use what it is that I already have. So I'm preaching to myself for this one, but use what it is that you already have instead of purchasing new things every single holiday season. My next tip is piggybacking off of my last one, which is if you have to buy something new because maybe you don't have it or the item that you had previously broke or something like that, then get creative. You don't have to buy the standard expensive fill in the blank of whatever it is that you need to purchase. As an example, our tablecloth that I was going to use for Thanksgiving is kind of pilling and falling apart. So instead of buying a brand new tablecloth, which can get expensive if you want the really nice ones from like Bed Bath & Beyond or whatever, I bought chalkboard paper, which was way cheaper. It was a fraction of the price. And we're going to be using that instead. And we have chalk. We're going to like decorate it really cute and like write out what the items on the table are. It's going to be really cute. But definitely feel free to get creative. Maybe instead of paying for a bouquet from a florist or from the grocery store, whatever, you can pick wildflowers or, you know, get stuff, pine cones and different things that are available in nature for free and use that as decor. So don't automatically assume that you like have to buy things for your decor and for use during the holidays. You can absolutely get creative and make things on your own. My next tip is if you have to get new like serving utensils or like regular utensils because you don't have enough or your old utensils were ruined or something like that, you may want to consider using plastic or disposable. I know. Bad for the environment and not the best in terms of long-term use, but I'm just saying consider it. If you host most of the time and you know that you're going to make use of a brand new set of utensils or a brand new set of serving utensils, then go ahead and splurge. Buy a good set that's going to last you for all of eternity, and then you're good. You don't have to spend, money on it every single year. But if like you don't normally host and you don't normally have people over, and this is just a one-time thing, then you may want to consider just getting disposable. I know. I'm sorry. Mother Earth, don't be mad at me. It's just an option for you. And that's it, guys. Those were my 10 tips on how you can save this holiday season, specifically for Thanksgiving. Definitely, if you like this video or you found the tips to be helpful, then hit that like button and be sure to subscribe if you're not currently subscribed. If you want to check out these tips and even more tips, then be sure to check out my blog, which is available at focusedfrugalfab.com. And I hope you all have a very safe and healthy and gut-busting Thanksgiving. May it all be enjoyed and may none of it go to your thighs. It's my prayer for you. It's my prayer for myself also. Happy Thanksgiving. I love you. Be safe. See you next time. Bye.